must Hi students. So you must be visualizing that here it is written language session 2. Session 1 we have already done, where I had given you a lot of informations regarding what is language, and you can even go back to that lecture, study it again, and continue with this second section. Those students who have joined new, they have not to worry, because each and everything is integrated in this platform. Okay. Good afternoon, all of you. All those students who are present here, I'm always say, make your presence here in front of my screen on the left hand side. So students, theories of English teaching या in language teaching को आज हम लोग पढ़ेंगे. And this theories of English language teaching में हम आपको पढ़ाने जा रहे हैं theories. That is, first of all, the behaviorist theory. Last time also I had told you, but I have made more detailed study in this passage of time by exploring new things. Second is the rationalist theory. Rationalist theory is also known as the cognitive theory. Third is the empiricist theory. The fourth is the grammar translation method. The fifth is the direct method, and the sixth is the eclectic method. So the behaviorist theory is a theory which is basically a psychological theory founded by J.B. Watson. J.B. Watson ने इसको found किया था, and the supporters of this behaviorist theory are Leonard Bloomfield, B.F. Skinner, A.W. Stats, and O.N. Maurer. It was actually a new approach to psychology in the early decades of the 20th century, and which also marks a particular type of emphasis on the importance of verbal behavior, and it also rests on the analysis of human behavior and the stimulus, response, interaction, and the association between both of them. And E.L.T. Thorndike, E.L.T. Thorndike, he was the first behaviorist to explore the area that learning is the establishment of associations on the particular process of behavior and the consequences of that behavior. And the basic tenets of this behaviorist theory dwells, or you can say works, on the spoken language. The medium of the language is oral speech, because there are many languages without written forms, and it is the habit formation theory of language. Teaching and learning remind us of the structural grammar. Each person can learn equally if the conditions in which the learning takes place are same for each person. इसको कहते हैं कि the learning due to its socially conditioned nature can be the same for each individual. So these are some of the basic tenets of the behaviorist theory. Now I'll try to describe the description of cognitivism. And cognitivism is also a learning theory that focuses on the processes involved in the learning rather than on the observed behavior. Rather than on the observed behavior. And as opposed to behaviorists, these cognitivists, they do not require an outward exhibition of learning, but focus more on the internal processes and connections that take place during the learning process. Cognitive theory developed as a reaction to behaviorism, and cognitivists, they objected to behaviorists because they felt that behaviorist thought learning was simply a reaction to a stimulus and ignored the idea that thinking plays an important role. And one of the most famous criticisms addressed to behaviorism was Chomsky's argument that language could not be acquired purely through conditioning and must be at least partly explained by the existence of some inner abilities. And a few of the cognitivists who have contributed to the development of the cognitive theory are, वो कौन से notable cognitivists हैं? Piaget, Bloom, then Brunner, then Asubel. These are the notable cognitivists. जैसा मैंने अभी आपको चॉम्स्की की थ्योरी, चॉम्स्की के बारे में बताया, चॉम्स्की, उसका पूरा नाम था नोएम चॉम्स्की, CHOMSKY. ये अपने आप में एक बहुत बड़े लिंग्विस्ट थे, और इनका ऐसा मानना है that language is innate. He has written his very famous book, Language and Mind, in 1972, in which he proposed his famous theories on language acquisition. And Chomsky's theories on language are based upon the importance of linguistics in modern sciences. And according to him, to study language, it is important to know the study human nature that lies in human mind. And Noam Chomsky postulated that the mechanism of the language acquisition is derived from the innate process. And what is innate? INNATE. Innate is something which is already there in mind since birth. And the theory proposed by Chomsky is proved by the children living in the same linguistic community. They are not influenced by the external experiences which bring about the comparable grammar. And he proposed that all of us live in this biological world. According to him, mental world is no exception, and believes that as there are stages of development for other parts of the body, language development can also be achieved up to a certain age. ये कितनी सही बात उसने लिखी, कितनी नेचुरल बात लिखी कि जैसे शरीर के सभी भागों का डेवलपमेंट की स्टेजेस होती हैं, तो लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट को भी अचीव किया जा सकता है अप टू अ सर्टेन एज. एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू लिंग्विस्ट बल्कि कहना चाहिए, अकॉर्डिंग टू लिंग्विस्ट, there is some very important distinction between language acquisition and language learning. देखिए मैं आपको एग्जांपल समझाता हूं. आपने देखा भी होगा, जो बच्चे होते हैं वो अपने मदर की लैंग्वेज को एक्वायर करते हैं. एंड व्हाई? बिकॉज दे आर विद द मदर एंड दे इंटरैक्ट with their parents and the environment which is surrounding them. और उनकी जो जरूरत होती है कम्युनिकेट करने के लिए, भाई उनको अगर प्यास लगी तो पानी बोलेंगे, भूख लगी तो खाना मांगेंगे, दर्द हुआ तो वो बताएंगे कि मुझे दर्द हो रहा है. सो दिस नीड टू कम्युनिकेट actually paves the way for language acquisition to take place. हमें विद्या की जरूरत है, हमें विद्या को एक्वायर करना है. यू नीड टू क्वालिफाई नेट विच इज पेविंग द वे फॉर एक्वायरिंग दैट नॉलेज टू टेक प्लेस, एंड दैट इज वाई यू आर इन फ्रंट ऑफ मी. आई थिंक यू मस्ट हैव अंडरस्टूड. सो इसमें एक्सपर्ट्स का ये कहना है दैट देयर इज एन इनेट कैपेसिटी, बाय बर्थ कैपेसिटी इन एवरी ह्यूमन बीइंग टू अक्वायर नॉलेज. ये हमें भगवान ने दिया है. और जब तक एक बच्चा 5 साल का होता है, he or she can express the ideas clearly and almost perfectly from the point of view of language and grammar. यद्यपि कि पेरेंट्स कभी बैठते नहीं है विद चिल्ड्रन टू एक्सप्लेन देम द वर्किंग्स ऑफ द लैंग्वेज. कभी पेरेंट्स को नहीं देखा होगा बच्चों को बैठ के लैंग्वेज की वर्किंग को सिखा रहे हों, बट देयर utterances show a superb command of intricate rules and the patterns that would drive them or memorize them and use them accurately. क्यों रूरल एरियाज में बच्चे रूरल भाषा बोलते हैं, वही कॉन्वेंट बैकग्राउंड के बच्चे उन्हीं शब्दों को बहुत अलग बोलते हैं. हिंदी मीडियम के बच्चे उसको बिल्कुल अलग तरीके से बोलते हैं. सो it is the accuracy, it is the environment, it is so many things through which language is acquired. It depends on the environment, upon the parents, upon the education and so many other things. Clear? So ये हमें क्या suggest करता है? ये suggest करता है that it is ultimately exposure to the language and the proper communication which is being handled, which is being acquired without the need of the systematic studies of any kind. And when it comes to the second language learning in children, then you will notice that this happens almost identically to their first language acquisition. And even teachers focus more on the communicative aspect of the language rather than on just rules and patterns for the children to repeat and memorize. And in order to acquire knowledge, the learner needs a source of natural communication. You need a natural communication. So communication at any point of time is very important. I'm giving you the lecture here. You are sitting on a pan-India level. You are able to understand my lecture. Communication is complete. It is two ways. It cannot be a monologue. You are understanding my lecture, you are messaging me, you are saying, sir, it is good, I understood this thing. This means that what I am trying to communicate to you, you are able to get it. And so, my communication is fine, okay. Suppose if I am teaching here and you are not able to get my whatever I am teaching, it is a failure. Then it is no communication. Clear? So language learning आज के समय में हम देखें, so it is not communicative. It is basically the result of the direct instruction in the rules of language, and it certainly is not an age appropriate activity for your young learners, as it is not for adults either. Students have conscious knowledge of the new language and can talk about that knowledge. There is an important distinction made by the linguists between language acquisition and language learning. Children जो है वो language को acquire करते हैं through a subconscious process, जहां पे वो unaware होते हैं कि grammatical rules क्या होते हैं. They don't know. They are not aware of the grammatical rules. This is similar to the way they acquire their first language. जब वो पैदा होते हैं, जब वो माँ बाप को अपने एनवायरमेंट को देखते हैं, कौन सा ग्रामर वहां बीच में आ रहा होता है? नथिंग. वहां पे फील आ रहा होता है. एंड इन ऑर्डर टू एक्वायर लैंग्वेज, द लर्नर नीड्स a source of natural communication, and the emphasis is on the text of the communication and not on the form. The young students who are in the process of acquiring English get plenty when they are in the job practice, and they readily acquire the language to communicate with the classmates. इसीलिए कहते हैं, the more exposure you have, the more knowledge you have, the more people you meet, the more exposed you are. The small city you are living, you are least exposed to the outer world, the least knowledge you are having. A child who is living in a very remote area, a village, a town, a small district, can you compare that child, that language, that anything, compared to a child who is born in Delhi or Bangalore or any big city? You cannot compare. And there results the difference in the community as well. So that is why parents today, they try to send their children in big cities, in big colleges, even in abroad, according to their system, according to their need, and according to their dreams. Language learning, on the other hand, is not communicative. It is what? It is direct instruction in the rules of language. And it certainly is not an age proportion activity for your young learners. In language learning, students have conscious knowledge of the new language and can talk about that knowledge, and they can fill in the blanks on a grammar page. A student has memorized the rules of language. He may be able to succeed on a standard of English language, but may not be able to speak or write correctly. देखिए, बहुत बड़ी चीज आपको समझा रहे हैं. मेरे ख्याल से आप लोगों को भी यह प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है कि आपने इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के टेस्ट को मेमोराइज करके, रूल्स ऑफ लैंग्वेज को सीख करके, यू मे गेट 70, 80, 90 out of 100, but it is quite possible that you may not be able to speak or you may not be able to write correctly. So things are different at different platforms. You should write well, you should speak well, you should understand well, then that is called a circle of completeness. अब इसी तरह से दो शब्द हैं, लैंग एंड पैरोल, LANGUE, and parole, PAROLE. Lang and parole are more than just language and speech, जबकि ये बहुत ही अच्छा क्विक तरीका है याद करने का. लैंग्वेज क्या है? सॉरी, लैंग, LANGUE, is a system of language that precedes and makes speech possible. A sign is a basic unit of language. Sorry, a sign is a basic unit of lang. लैंग्वेज और लैंग इतना मिलता है कि बार बार लैंग्वेज ही निकल जाता है. अगर हम लैंग्वेज को लर्न करते हैं तो हम क्या मास्टर करते हैं अपने को? ग्रामर, स्पेलिंग, वोकैबुलरी, सिंटैक्स, प्रोनाउंसिएशन, ये सब क्या है? दीज आर ऑल एलिमेंट्स ऑफ लैंग। और पैरोल क्या है? पैरोल इज द कॉन्क्रीट यूज ऑफ द लैंग्वेज and the actual utterance. It is the usage of the system, but not the system. Clear? इसी तरह से एक थ्योरी है जिसका नाम है स्पीच एक्ट थ्योरी। स्पीच एक्ट थ्योरी मैं लिख देता हूं यहां पे। काफी आप लोग शांत हैं स्टूडेंट्स? दिस मीन्स कि यू आर एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एवरीथिंग। आई थिंक आई एम यूजिंग अ वेरी सिंपल लैंग्वेज to make you understand this unit. Right or wrong? Yes or no? All of you are able to understand my lecture? Today there are actually few students who are live with me, as shown in the computer today. It is very hot today in Lucknow. Yesterday and today, so hot. It is, I think, 45 degree plus. एक चीज मैं और बता दूं यहाँ पे आप लोगों को कि सपोज करिए कि कभी जैसे क्लास हम नहीं ले पाए ड्यू टू सो मेनी रीजंस कभी, तो हम एक चीज सोच रहे हैं कि हम एक ऐसे में अगर मेरा कोई कोर्स पीछे हो रहा होगा तो आई वुड मैनेज दैट लेक्चर ऑफ दैट डे सम टाइम बिफोर और आफ्टर एंड पुट इट ऑन दैट वीडियो सेक्शन, और आपको वहां पे लिखा मिल जाएगा कि गेट द न्यू लेक्चर ऑन द पास्ट वीडियो सेक्शन। तो वहां से आप उस दिन के लेक्चर को वहां से कवर कर लीजिएगा। सो देर इज नो नीड फॉर द लाइव लेक्चर बिकॉज लाइव लेक्चर ओके फाइन, इफ सपोज ड्यू टू सम रीजंस अगर हम दे पाए तो हम दे देंगे, नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं। सो ये दिमाग में रखिएगा कभी। सो एक होता है स्पीच एक्ट थ्योरी, स्पीच एक्ट थ्योरी। Speech Act theory considers language as a sort of action rather than a medium to convey or a medium to express. It is a language, considers language as a sort of action rather than a medium of conveying or expressing something. And the contemporary speech act theory developed by J.L. Austin, J.L. Austin, who is a British philosopher of languages. He introduced this theory in 1975 in his well-known book known as How Do Things with Words. How do things with words. बाद में जॉन सर्ल John Searle brought the aspects of theory into much higher dimensions. And this theory is often used in the field of philosophy of languages. और ये जो ऑस्टिन है, J.L. Austin, he is the one who came up with the findings that people not only uses that language to assert things, but also to do things. And people who followed him went to the greater depths based on this point. उनका कोट है, ग्रेग हेंडरसन का और क्रिस्टोफर ब्राउन का एक कोट है, a theory of language is a theory of action, quote unquote. A theory of language is a theory of action by Greg E. Henderson and Christopher Brown. मैं आपको एक एग्जांपल देता हूं. ये जो थ्योरी है, the theory emphasis that the utterances have a different or a specific meaning to its user and listener other than its meaning according to the language. And the theory further identifies that there are two kinds of utterances. एक utterance का नाम है constative और दूसरे का नाम है performative. Constative and performative utterances. And in this book which I have just told you, How Do Things with Words, Austin clearly talks about the disparities between the constative and the performative utterances. A constative utterance is something which describes or denotes the situation in relation with the fact of true and false. Clear? आज हम लोग यहां तक इसको रखेंगे. इसके बाद हम लोग और डिटेल में पढ़ाई करेंगे नेक्स्ट लेक्चर में हाफ एन आवर, क्योंकि इससे ज्यादा ये लेक्चर बहुत हेवी हो जाएगा आपके लिए. सो हाफ लेक्चर लैंग्वेज इसको फिनिश करते हैं आज हम. अब तक इसको रिवाइज कर लीजिएगा दोबारा सुन करके. एंड आई विल जस्ट कंप्लीट माई यस लास्ट लेक्चर था हमारा नॉवेल पे, याद है आपको नॉवेल पे. सो हाउ वाज दैट लेक्चर ऑन नॉवेल? सो वहां पे कुछ चीजें बची रह गई थी, हम उसको वहां से कवर अप करते हैं, विच इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू. और वो जो लेक्चर था वो हमने आपको लास्ट में बताया था कि जो नॉवेल है इन इंग्लिश दैट एक्चुअली फॉल्स इजीली इनटू द फॉलोइंग डिविजन्स, दैट इज 1 2 3 4 5 डिविजन्स. पहला मैंने आपको बताया था द रोमांटिक नॉवेल, जिसको कहते हैं नॉवेल ऑफ एक्शन भी कहते हैं. द साइकोलॉजिकल नॉवेल और नॉवेल ऑफ कैरेक्टर कहते हैं. द ड्रामेटिक नॉवेल, द क्रॉनिकल and the period novel. So first of all, I'll take and explain you what is the romantic novel or the novel of action. Romantic novel is a story where the chief interest lies not in the characters but in the events, and which has been considered as the oldest type of novel. The object of the writer of this class of novel is to arouse the curiosity and excite the mind of the reader. And he is able to do this thing by introducing thrilling incidents, breathless succession of actions, different emotions like hope, fear, anticipation, apprehension, etc., produced in the mind of the reader or the student. The ideal of the writer is nothing but amusement, and the end of the novel is therefore invariably happy. The plot moves in accordance with the wishes of the writer. Such a novel is a fantasy of desire than a picture of life. Action or incident is very important factor. The characters are subordinate to action and are never true to life. Then we move on to the psychological novel or the novel of character. The novel of character or the psychological novel is a story where the principal stress fails or falls. The novel of character or the psychological novel is a story where the principal stress falls not on the succession of incidents but on the development of the characters. And with the passage of time, the psychology of the human life began to assume importance in the eyes of the novelist. And the change resulted in the shifting of the writer's interest from plot to the characters. And the action was made subsidiary to the character which existed independently. The plot lost in value, nor was the end of the novel of great concern to the novelist. The situations or the incidents which occur in the psychological novel serve the purpose of developing or delineating the characters or introducing new characters. The actions as such have no interest or importance. Their interest or importance becomes a reality only in the conjunction with or in accordance with the characters. And the writer of the novel of action draws upon his imagination. The writer of the novel of character draws upon his experiences that alone assures the faithful portrayal of life. As a matter of truth, the distinct acquisition of the writer of the psychological novel is the constant, unchangeable nature of the character he deals with. And in the language of modern criticism, अगर आपने कभी पढ़ा हो, these characters are called flat as opposed to round. इनको flat characters कहते हैं, ना कि round. And certain novels which are written nowadays, which partake the features of the novel of action and also of the novel of character, these novels basically contain a number of situations. These novels contain a number of situations which are capable of critical delineation. In other words, these novels deal with not any particular aspect of social life, but with the entire life of society. इनको हम पिक्चरेस्क नॉवल भी कहते हैं. Novels of Scott, novels of Dickens, they belong to this category. For example, The Mill on the Floss by George Eliot, Thackeray's Henry Esmond, a good illustration of this type of novel, where you will find the novel of action and those of novel of character. Clear? The third is the dramatic novel. Dramatic novel क्या है? This covers the autobiographical novel. And the most remarkable feature of this type of novel is that the characters are so well knit up with the plot that the characters determine the action which in course of time influences the characters. To Jane Austen belongs the credit of originating this class of novel. In the novel Emma, Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, the action is naturally intensified through movements of the characters. अगर हम दूसरे शब्दों में कहें, the characters guide, they control and govern the events. And the characters first create their own difficulties and then solve them. There is no external framework. All is character and all is at the same time action. The novels of Thomas Hardy belong to this dramatic type. Hardy's characters progressively move towards a crisis and then they move towards an end determined by the action which they have done. And the main distinction between the novel of action and the novel of character on the one hand and the dramatic novel on the other is that in the latter there is a correspondence between the characters and the action. And in the novel of character, we have the contrast between appearance and reality. And the dramatic novel shows that there is a little difference between appearance and reality. And the characters move, they develop and they change and they give rise to new situations. And this is what one must understand as the plot of the dramatic novel. The denouement or the unraveling of the plot at the end of the action is of great significance in a dramatic novel as it is in the case of dramas. The last scene completes the story and fully reveals the character. And the completeness of the action means either comedy or tragedy. Every dramatic novel has an isolated scene as its background. And within this scene, conflicts arise, develop, and end. A writer sums up these distinctions as that in the novel of character, the scene changes while the characters are changeless. In the dramatic novel, the scene is changeless while the characters change. And the world of the novel of character is its space. The world of the dramatic novel kya hai? Is time. In the character novel, time is assured and the action is continuously redistributed and reshuffled in space. Whereas in the dramatic novel, space is more or less given and the action is built up in time. And the two types of the novel are thus two distinct modes of seeing life, one in space and the other in time. Then the next is the chronicle. Chronicle, that is the biographical novel, which should be put under the category of the chronicle. And in the novels of this type, the action is accidental, but the events occur within a fixed framework. And a rigid framework and a careless progression of action are the unfailing traits of a chronicle. The basis of the chronicle is it must be remembered accidental manifestation of time. Some well-known critic has said somewhere about this, everything may happen and everything does happen. The action does not follow necessarily, it is not inevitable because in life there is accident as well as law. And the characters in the chronicle, as in the case of the dramatic novel, are revealed by time. Samay se. The revelation takes place, maybe it in a different way altogether. And the novelist takes up a character and describes his life from the moment of the birth right up to the time of his death, through the main critical stages or halting places of life. And within this framework of birth, development, and death, all are the various manifestations of life. The actions that belong to such a character are the incidents of the chronicle. The chief difference between the dramatic novel and the chronicle is that whereas in the former, time is internal, in the latter, time is external. Change, fate, character are all welded into one action in the dramatic novel. And in the chronicle, on the other hand, the flow of time is unchecked and indefinite. So even if unpleasant situations arise and the characters suffer in consequence, they are regarded merely as the accidents of time. The writers of the chronicle do not adhere to one isolated sense of action, with the result that the plot is loose and the various episodes are bound within a rigid external progression. And this type of novel is the vogue of the day, and it is the only type whose structure has remained perfectly intact. And the last, which I am going to discuss with you, is the period novel. Period, period novel. The chronicle, as we have discussed, is no doubt the rage of the time. All the same, some of the great achievements in modern days have been cast in the mold of the period novel. If you look 2 decades back, the period novel enjoyed great popularity, and at present, it has gone down considerably in prestige and power. The best example of the class of novel is Galsworthy's Forsyte Saga. The theme of this type is a section of contemporary society in a state of transition. Its difference from the chronicle is evident. It is both as regards degree and time. The object of the writer of the period novel is simply to describe a society at a particular stage of transition. It is but necessary that he should take up only those characters which can illustrate and manifest the particular phase of society. John Galsworthy, H.G. Wells have made this type of their own for the purposes of disseminating their views. But the present social life, about the present social life, and the characters of almost all period novels are the typical products of their society. On this account, this kind of novel has been appropriately called a spurious imitation of history under the garb of fiction. It should not be inferred that the period novel is a mere record of experiences. It is actually in reality an image of life, expressing the dynamic forces which are in play in the life of humanity in general. So students, so this I have completed the entire world of novel. अब novel पे तो आपको वो कमांड होना चाहिए कि शायद बड़े बड़े भी आपके सामने हार जाएं. इतना डीप रूटेड और इतना एग्जॉस्टिव, फुल ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, फुल ऑफ एग्जाम्पल्स, और कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ा मैंने. इसको सुनिएगा, चाहिएगा तो इसका नोट्स भी बना सकते हैं, और क्योंकि ये चीजें आपको कहीं मिलेंगी नहीं, ना तो किताबों में, ना तो विकिपीडिया में, ना तो हमारे नोट्स में, कहीं नहीं. इट वाज जस्ट यू कैन से द नॉलेज, the reading, the experiences of teaching and teaching, and reading and reading, which has made you give such a lecture on the novel. So from time to time, I would also try to give certain lectures on various other topics too. So, okay students, बहुत कुछ रिवाइज करने को आपको दे दिया है. Do your hard work and meet you tomorrow again. और कोई भी बात हो, कोई भी मैसेज हो, you can just drop me on my message box. Thank you so much students.